ETI.
In this week's edition of ETI, we will be discussing the football team's homecoming victory against Tennessee Tech, the soccer team's 4-game OVC win streak, and the volleyball team's 2-game homestand against SEMO and Eastern Illinois. Make sure to come out and support the volleyball team's 2-game home series Friday at 7 against SEMO and Saturday at 2 against Eastern Illinois.
The Murray State soccer team won 4-0 on Friday against Jacksonville State at Cutchin Field. And then on Sunday, they went to a 0-0 tie at Alabama A&M. They remain at the number 1 in the OVC spot. They'll be playing on Friday at Morehead State and then again on Sunday at Eastern Kentucky University.
First off, I'd like to apologize for my college picks the last few weeks. I've not been up to par with the rest of the sports writers. In fact, I'm starting to fall behind the 2 pick'em people that actually don't watch college football. But this week, I promise I will rebound. I'm going with number 7, Texas Tech, over the lowly Texas A&M team. Number 21, Wake Forest over Maryland, even though they pulled up the upset over number 25, Cal. Number 22, Vandy is not going to beat number 10, Georgia. Georgia just a little too strong. Number 2, Alabama barely squeaks it out against Houston Nutt and Ole Miss. Number 4, Oklahoma over number 16, Kansas. No real shockers in that. I'm playing it safe this week.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, the football team beat Tennessee Tech this past weekend at homecoming to improve to 2-1 in the OVC. This week, they head to Jacksonville State to take on Ryan Perilou and the Gamecocks. Last weekend was a good one in college football. This one is sure to be much of the same. Number 12 Ohio State is traveling to number 20 Michigan State. Ohio State has Terrell Pryor at the helm and Chris Beanie Wells at the running back spot, where the Spartans don't have any answer for either one of those. I have the Buckeyes over the Spartans. Michigan at number 3 Penn State. Michigan has been about as bad as Penn State has been good. The offense of Penn State and the Nittany Lions, led by Joe Pa, has been the HD that they have advertised. Highly diversified and in high definition. They've been scoring over 50 points a game in several of their contests this year. It'll be way too much for Rich Rodriguez and that porous Michigan Wolverine defense.
Number 11, Missouri, travels to number 1, Texas. The Tigers are coming off a heartbreaking loss to Oklahoma State, while Texas is reveling in their victory over Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. Tim has Missouri beating the Longhorns, knocking them out of their number 1 spot. Heisman candidate Chase Daniel and the prolific Tiger offense get back on track.
Number 13, LSU at South Carolina. The Bayou Bengals went to the swamp last week and came out with their tails between their legs. Tim Tebow and the Florida Gators laid it on the LSU Bayou Bengals 51-21. This week, they'll be looking for revenge at South Carolina. Steve Spurrier can't get his team well enough ready for an LSU team that is going to overmatch the Gamecocks in almost every phase. The LSU Tigers are much more athletic, and look for them to beat Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks this week. Number 17, Virginia Tech at Boston College. This week, Frank Beamer, a former Murray State head coach, will beat the Boston College Eagles. Boston College is not nearly as good as they were last year with Matt Ryan and that offense that everyone loved to talk about. This year, they're merely mediocre, and the Virginia Tech defense will swarm to the ball, and Boston College will get almost nowhere. Frank Beamer gets another win, and number 17 Virginia Tech comes out of this one a winner.
Number 6 USC at Washington State. This one isn't hard. Washington State has losses to Oregon, Oregon State, and Cal, and USC has Mark Sanchez. The Trojans put this Cougar to rest before halftime.
This week's ETI Player of the Week is Derek Townsell. The junior wide receiver for the Racer football team has amassed over 150 receiving yards in the last 3 games. Townsell has been instrumental in wins over Austin Peay and Tennessee Tech. Congratulations to Derek Townsell, this week's ETI Player of the Week. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us here at ETI. Tune in next week for more scores, stats, highlights, and recaps of this week's action. Good night, Canada.